here's wishing you a very beautiful evening or morning wherever you are, whichever part of the world you are. As you can see, it's a beautiful evening for me, and incidentally, there's a lot of activity happening around. There's some kind of big shooting happening around, so there could be a bit of sound disturbance. So we just have to work our way around that because honestly, there's no other way to do this. So now I want to start off by telling you that this video is about the 13th Nakshatra, Hasta Nakshatra. Okay, and this is entirely in Kanya Rashi or in Virgo. Okay, and this is a female nakshatra, and the symbol incidentally is of a hand. Okay, now the deity is Savitur. Okay, Savitur. Okay, and when you think of Savitur, he's not really a god who is worshipped like that. But when you listen to the Rig Vedic shloka, the Gayatri mantra, then you understand his importance. Om Bhur Bhuva Swaha Tatsa Vitur Varenyam. Varenyam is I pay obeisance to Savitur, the solar god. Okay, Tatsa Vitur Varenyam Bhargo Devasya Dhimahi Diyo Yona Prachodayat. Okay, so immediately we understand that Rig Veda is possibly the most ancient text of India. So here we are confronted with Savitur and his mention in the Rig Veda. Okay, now so Savitur, it's clear that is a solar god. Okay, his logos emanates from the spiritual sun and the visible sun. You know, there's a sun behind the sun. So now, and when you think about the symbol of Hasta, it's a hand. And what does a hand actually remind you of? The sun. The palm being the spherical center and the fingers being the rays. Okay, so if you look at our hand, it can, in a rudimentary manner, convey to you the sun. Okay, so that's so interesting. And the five fingers being rays of the sun. Okay, now Hasta Nakshatra, as I said, is entirely in Kanya Rashi. Okay, and is ruled by the moon. Now we know moon and Mercury are not particularly friends, right? Now, the beautiful part of this is that the flower associated with Hasta Nakshatra, when you're paying obeisance to Hasta, when you're paying obeisance to Savitur, for any workings in Hasta, then you use the jasmine flower. Okay, the jasmine flower. Now, it spans from 10 degrees to 2320 of sidereal Virgo. Right? Now, let us understand the moon mantra. Om Shram Shrim Shrom Sa Chandramase Namaha. Many say Chandramaya. Chandramase Namaha. Om Shram Shrim Shrom Sa Chandramase Namaha. Om Shram Shrim Shrom Sa Chandramase Namaha. This is the seed sound of the moon. Okay, so it's always good to propitiate the moon if you have any major planets in Hasta. For instance, you have your moon in Hasta. So your moon gets a double dose of herself. It's not necessarily always good that, you know, when a planet is in a nakshatra which it rules, it can be good, of course, but you have to understand a lot before just labeling it as something good, right? Now, this Shram Shrim Shrom Sa mantra must be done 10,000 times. Okay, 10,000 times. And the gem that many say is pearl, some say turquoise. Okay, pearl and turquoise. Now, if you are into Rudraksha and you want to wear a Rudraksha, then for you this is a Dvimukhi Rudraksha. Two-faced Rudraksha, okay, Dvimukhi. Now, Savitar is known as the golden-handed one, and his main act is to promote creativity. Thereby we realize that Hasta is a very creative nakshatra. Okay, it's always looking to create something. Okay, and because it rules the hands are very active in these natives, very active, very quick moving, very dexterous. Okay, in some cases they can be ambidextrous, using both hands with equal skill and dexterity, right? So we've got natives who can be, a whole bunch of things like surgeons, carpenters, because of the great dexterity they have with the fingers and the hands, and any kind of handicraft, of course, furniture making, and all of that. They're really skilled at this. Okay, and they of course have this business savvy too, because of Mercury being there, right? You of course have to see where Mercury is positioned, and you have to understand Mercury's nakshatra, and then you truly understand your moon or ascendant in Hasta. Right, sorry. So what else can they do? Great at designing, great at sketching, painting, sculpture, pottery, right? All these things are really good. And of course, healing arts, like even as physical as massage, to Reiki, to all kinds of things with the hands, because they're really good, and they possibly use their hands also a lot, and they have a mischievous smile, and they may even clap their hands quite a bit while they talk. So hands are active, basic point to understand, right? Now, even though this nakshatra is ruled by the moon, it epitomizes Mercury's energy. Okay, because it is feeding off of Mercury, who is the ruler of the sign that this nakshatra resides in, and it completely resides in Mercury's sign. So that now this Mercury's influence, Mercury's disposition over the moon that rules Hasta, brings about this mental, highlights this sort of intellectual side of the native. Okay, yes, they can be very skilled with their hands, and they can be, very good at doing things, massage, and what else you can do with the hands, and they're really good at that. Even healing arts, like I said, or any kind of, any kind of magic done with the hand. Now, you get the point, or even pleasure with the hand. They're really, really good at that, right? Now, the thing is that because it highlights this intellectual side of this nakshatra, Mercury's disposition, then we immediately understand that these people may, like I said, be quite a trickster, be a little impish, because Mercury is known as the trickster. But anyway, these Hasta natives are social beings. Moon is all about society, the mother, our community, right? Moon is about community. And then you bring in a dose of Mercury, so you have this kind of, naughty image with a very mischievous smile. And Hasta natives tend to have squint eyes. A lot of them, they don't have huge eyes, though they are ruled by the moon. They oftentimes have this squintish look in their eyes, okay, and mischievous look in the face. Now, the thing is that Hasta nakshatra's motivation is moksha, or spiritual progress. So, you understand that no matter how impish or naughty Hasta natives can get, they are ultimately egged on by something higher, by something mystical, by something spiritual. Like they're being pushed to it. Like, okay, this is where you need to go. Go now, in higher realms, right? Travel to the higher realms. Dosha is vata, so any kind of airy, gassy complaints. Extreme dryness can occur with vata. Even water retention in the incorrect places. So with vata, the water is never quite distributed, vata imbalance of course, never quite distributed as it should be, causing dryness in some cases, causing excessive water retention in some cases, whatever. Now this nakshatra is a Tiryanga Mukha Nakshatra, okay, a forward looking, a forward facing nakshatra. So, what happens when you face straight? You look straight, you are future oriented, you're looking to make in the most mundane sense, you take a step, you look straight. Right? Is there a hole? Am I going to fall? Are there people? Am I going to bump into them? So you're understanding your situation is you look right in front of you. Okay. Now, think of another thing that happens when you are aligned straight or you're forward facing. You greet friends, you meet people, you call them into your house, like, hello, come in, please. You communicate with people, right? Again, we see the communication angle of Mercury being heightened here. So, like, oh, come into my house, please. You're looking straight at them, even kissing, right? What can you do when your body is straight and aligned straight? Right now, the thing is that we can communicate quite a bit when the moon is in Hasta. Okay, we can communicate and call our friends over, have little parties, or do whatever, right? And then we can also visit friends. Okay, we can visit friends, we can receive them, we can negotiate any kind of, again, Mercury is a good negotiator. And then we know Virgo is a good negotiator. Okay, so all of this comes into the skill set of Hasta Nakshatra, right? And then, of course, what else can be done when the body is aligned straight? Think and think hard, right? Now, the quality of this nakshatra is Laghu and Swift. So fast moving, okay? Laghu and Shipra, which is swift, okay? Now, when you think of Laghu and Swift, you think of Mercury and Moon, right? They're both very swift moving bodies across the zodiac. Quick, 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 they move. So, again, this emphasis on doing good in business is stressed by this nakshatra being of the merchant class. Okay, so when you are of the merchant class, you understand commerce, right? Stock, shares, selling, trading, buying, even doing kind of like being the middleman, because you are negotiating and you're like, okay, you get a good deal here, you move on and you sell it on. So that is very much the skill set of Hasta Nakshatra, right? So business savvy, right? And the guna is Rajas. So when you think of Rajas, you must always understand that Rajas is activity oriented. So there's always a kind of movement with Hasta Nakshatra. They want movement, they want to do something, they can get fed up if they're not doing something. Even short distance travels, they like to go someplace, they love their car and they just want to go places. Even drives, that really invigorates them. Now, also when we this particular nakshatra's Shakti is Hasta Sthapaniyagama Shakti. Hasta Sthapaniyagama Shakti, okay? And that means the power to put one's objects of desire in one's own hands. So, if you are a Hasta moon or Hasta ascendant, if you do your job well, you can literally have your cake and eat it too, okay? Your success will be given to you in your hands, okay? So there's no avoiding that. There's no, thing with that. Now, the animal is a female buffalo. Okay, I told you every nakshatra has an animal associated to it. And the animal associated to Hasta is a female buffalo. So, right, what do you think of when you think of a buffalo? Sturdy, endurance, but kind of stubborn, doesn't like new things, doesn't like to move about in new ways, has a tried and tested attitude. Right, this again goes directly in conflict with the Laghu and Shipra, which is swift attitude, right? Also Vata. So, little elements, they add up to how the energy plays out. Also, it's a passive nakshatra. So even though they may want to do tons of things, they still don't go out there and they're not always out there trying to do something. If they are, then of course the Mercury is very well placed and you have to look at the moon, because then you understand the two energies. Where's your Mercury placed? In your D1 chart, in your moon chart, in your D9 chart, right? Where is that placed, Mercury and moon? And then you understand how the moon or ascendant in Hasta will work. Right, so we've got the passive attitude of Hasta, like, okay, let life happen to me. I'm not going to go out there, and I'm not going to grab life by its, dash, 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 or throat, right? I'm not going to do that. Let life play out. This is a sort of passive orientation that Hasta has. Now, directionality is south. Okay, so any work done for Hasta must be done facing the south, right? And beach sounds are pu, sha, na, tha. Pushanatha, okay, and the color is deep green color. I did not have anything deep green, so I also wanted to introduce to you this design of ours, so I wore this, but deep green color for when the moon is in Hasta, okay. And now when you think of the etymology of the word Hasta, that is where is the root of the word, okay, then you see Hasta as hand. Now the hand can provide help, the hand can provide assistance, the hand can also push, the hand can pickpocket, the a hand can even sever your arteries, right, and you can bleed out to death. So the hand, okay, the root word is hasta, which is hand, and all the significations of the hand, what the hand can do in our lives. Why do we have the hand, right? Now, dominant personalities can emerge, okay? Hasta natives are not usually, although that's, I told you they have a passive side, but they're not usually pushed around because they can have very boisterous temperaments, and dominant personalities can be seen in Hasta natives, right? Because Savitur is responsible for kingship, rulership, dominion, okay? And when you think of the sun, what does the sun do? The sun of course gives us is the main source of sustenance, but the sun is essentially the light to dispel darkness, right? So we have all this darkness in our lives, and it is actually the job of the sun to come and dispel that darkness from our lives, right? That's why I'm saying that, it's a new dawn. So when the sun comes out, it's almost like we get another chance at life. A new beginning happens. Each day is a new beginning, you know that. Now, natives, as I said, have a very mischievous, impish smile, okay? Why? Because Savitur, oftentimes in ancient texts, is seen as laughing or smiling. So that's why the ruler is smiling. So the natives also tend to smile, even if a problem hits them on the face, and they're like anxious because they've got all this moon Mercury happening. But even then, at the downtime, and it's downtime, they tend to realize the humor behind the tragedy, and that's good because this can make them good comedians, and that the comedian that gives his community a lot of help and support by just making them laugh. You need to laugh. Laughing is really an important side to existence. So when I think of laughter, I think of the laughing Buddha. You know how auspicious the laughing Buddha is, how absolutely precious the laughing Buddha is, right? Now, so let's get straight to sports, love of sports. Hasta Nakshatra people have a crazy love of sport, okay? And not only do they like, physical sports, cricket, football, whatever, amorous sports in the bedroom, they also like to play different games in different simulations, okay? So they're hopping from one simulation to the other. I mean, you know what I mean, in many dimensions, in many spiritual realms, in the physical, in the psychosomatic. There's always a game that's playing, right? Because I told you this looking at life through the lens of humor, right? If you're a well-developed Hasta, you can look at life through a humorous lens, and that is, I think, so very important. Now, they like to play all kinds of physical games, all kinds of mental games, as well as spiritual games. That's why, sometimes the rin may last from lifetime to lifetime. So be careful of what kind of pranks you're playing or what kind of games you're playing and how that is affecting other people. That's very important. Now, Savitur himself had crazy skills with his hands, right? And pretty much he could create anything in the universe just with his hands. So this is translated into the natives of Hasta being able to just do crazy things with the hands, or even, miniature work, minute work, detail oriented work. For we see that, Kanya Rashi of Virgo has this propensity to detail. So this clearly comes out in Hasta as they love detailing. They love detailing and they're very good at it, and they can create anything, like, a poster, a sofa set, just in one night. And that's what my friend did. The person who has designed this is actually moon in Hasta, moon in the 10th house in Hasta Nakshatra. So she's crazily talented with her hands, and she can pretty much do anything from, like, making things with resin, cutting fabric, designing furniture. And she's not afraid to try something new with her hands. She's like, yeah, I'll do it. Let's do it. Let's try it. So that is crazy. Now, as I mentioned, that there's a trickster component to Mercury. Okay, Mercury has been known as the trickster. Now, Savitur also was known as a trickster, right? And a gambler and a fraudster. Now, shockingly, in Hindu Dharma, we see many solar kings, right? In ancient times, were trained in the art of lying, in the art of fraud, deceit, gambling, and sometimes they were even taught robbery. These solar kings from solar dynasties, they had to learn all of this, because you just can't know all the things that are good or virtuous. You have to also know the other side of life. That's why some forensic criminologists are like, they think like the criminal, thereby they can catch the criminal. This is important for, you have to go down into the psyche, the depths of the psyche of the criminal, to truly understand his motivations. For if you do not understand the profile, that's why FBI profiling has become such a big thing, because the profilers, they get into the psyche of the criminal. Okay, they create a profile, and that profile oftentimes is really specific details that helps the police catch these criminals. Okay, so this kind of thing, right? Knowing the fraud life, knowing how to create fraud, and then being able to maybe stay away from it or catch it. So they see both the sides, and that is so crazy, right? They see both the sides. And now we've got the very interesting thing. We look down at your hands, okay, little thing, and see those lines, right? Those lines, right? Now, what is there in the hands? Because I was telling you, in the hands, like the sun and the rays, but what is there in your hands? These lines, right? You can see these lines. So immediately you understand that Hasta is connected to the art of palmistry. I said healing arts, sacred healing arts. But Hasta is especially connected to the art of palmistry, and by extrapolation, the art of astrology. So when you look at the, and palmistry can be crazy accurate. It's not a hoax. It can be crazy accurate, right? And also Hasta is the hand of the Kal Purusha, right? So immediately you understand when you see lines, what is palmistry? Your destiny, your fate. So Hasta is connected to our fate, right? Fated events will appear in our lives wherever we have Hasta Nakshatra. Very fated events. I've got Pluto in Hasta, so I kind of understand the energy that I'm talking about, Now, the thing is, Hasta is known as the star of the clutching hand. So when you're drowning or when you're falling down a tall building, you want that hand to come and clutch your hand, clutch at you so you don't fall, right? So Hasta is oftentimes, when you're sinking in life, the planet that you have in Hasta is oftentimes going to just put out a hand and going to grab you so you don't fall. So you don't spiral downwards. Also, Hasta, the hand, can also push. So sometimes fated events can happen that can push you towards a downward spiral. And remember, at the end of it, it's all for your growth and for your learning, right? The planets are not here to mess up our life or complicate it. They're here to guide us. So if at times we need to fall to curtail our ego, so be it. That's what the planets teach us. And it's time to fall, right? So keep that in mind. The hand can hold you when you're falling, or the hand can even push you down, right? So this kind of fated events, fated connections, fated situations happen with Hasta, that is directly connected to our destiny, right? And however, you can change your destiny just by using your hands. Some people use their brain, some use their tongue, some use their physical body, some can use the hand and literally change destiny. I believe that Hitler had cut a line because some palmist had told him that he was going to die. So he tried to carve a line into his hands. So two lines, I guess, in his two hands or one hand. I don't know exactly, but that's how much he believed in the power of these lines. In Hindi, we say "Haathon ki lakeer." "Haathon ki lakeer" mein sab kuch likha hai. That means everything that will happen to us is written in these lines. So immediately you see that Hasta has some information for all of us. Of course, in the house that it says, the planets it houses and aspects, all of this, where it is in your D1 chart, D9 chart, your moon chart, that according to that, Hasta will either provide a hand to hold you and you can clutch at it and you can save yourself, or Hasta will push you down. Okay, whatever it is. So now the other thing is that you can also, when you think of words and wordplay, you think of falling into the clutching hands of the enemy, or he fell into the clutch of his enemy. So into the hands of the enemy. So Hasta natives can oftentimes fall into the hands of their enemies. This also comes to the fact that Kanya Rashi is the sixth Rashi, which is associated to secret enemies. So that's a very possible possible outcome, okay, falling into the clutch or hands of your enemies. Now, very good calligraphy skills, stitching skills, sewing skills, embroidery, crochet, all of those things, okay, crazy skills with the hands, we can see. Calligraphy and handwriting. Oftentimes, the Hasta native will have amazing handwriting. The asana for Hasta natives ascendant to moon is Matsyasana. Okay, check it out. And the chakra that you need to activate is Ajna chakra right here. Okay, Ajna chakra. Now, I have told you that natives have squint eyes, so it'd be good to do tratak and all kinds of eye exercises to keep your eyes open, keep your eyes concentrated. However, also I've noticed that Hasta, and of course ancient texts have told us that Hasta natives tend to face some kind of problem till the age of 30. Till 30 they can go through a whole lot of problems in life. Something or the other can go wrong. 30 to 42, 30 to 42, okay, these 12 years are some of the best years in the lives of a Hasta native. Okay, and if you manage to live till 64, which I mean, it's not a big deal, many of us live till 64 in this era. If you manage to live till 64, you will see great abundance, okay. Now, another thing I told you is natives love cars, okay, and why? Because Hasta is influenced by elephant drivers and those who travel in chariots, and they are artisans and good traders. So they are immediately in ancient texts, they have an association to vehicles, right? I have an association to cars, I mean not cars but chariots and all of that. So immediately that translates into a modern interest in cars, okay, maybe even aviation. Hasta natives may even like aviation, right? In Virgo and their crazy detailing, they can even be interested in flying or aviation. Now Varahmihira says, Moon in Hasta makes one energetic, daring, merciless, a drunkard, and a thief. Okay, so the moon, I think, here is sort of like feeding you into these vibes of wanting to, get intoxicated to enter different realms of consciousness, right? And Muhurta Chintamani says, treatment of disease. So again, I want to emphasize the role of Virgo in bringing this healing component to Hasta. Okay, very, very healing. Now the padas. Pada 1 is Aries Navamsa, where you have the Sun exalted and Saturn debilitated. Pada 2 and Aries is ruled by Mars. Pada 2 is Venus Navamsa, ruled by Venus. It is the exaltation of the moon, and of course Mars is debilitated because Mars rules the polarity Scorpio. Okay. Gemini Navamsa, ruled by Mercury. Rahu is exalted. Ketu is debilitated. And you have Cancer Navamsa, which is so moon, right? Because you have Hasta ruled by moon, and then you've got Cancer Navamsa again ruled by moon, right? And exaltation of Jupiter, and of course fall of Mars, because Mars is exalted in Capricorn, 28 degrees to be exact. So this Cancer Navamsa has very strong moon influence, okay? And oftentimes these natives can have big breasts, voluptuousness, okay? That can come from there. So now let us break down the padas. So the pada 1, Aries Navamsa, ruled by Mars, okay? A few observations. Abundant energy, really. Skilled hustlers, very good at hustling their way through the world. Very mathematical, so can be great at mathematics and calculus, or what have you, all of that spectrum. There is an interest in warfare. Mars again bringing that general and that military energy to Hasta, and these guys are very good and have an interest in the military, okay, and as well as they're very good surgeons. So they love pets, because there's something about the first Navamsa, they love pets, but they can lie and they get angry very quickly. So they're quick to anger. That's something, right? But they're very good surgeons if they take up medicine. Now, pada 2 is Venus ruled. Okay, loves dancing and singing. Loves, okay? And I think that this is the most moral and honest pada of Hasta, right? And very artistic, very creative and artistic. Also, the dress sense is possibly the best, and likes things of luxury, beautiful things, right? They don't want anything basic. They want a good couture brand. They don't want anything basic, this Navamsa. And when you think of the friends of Venus, that is Mercury and Saturn, if they are placed here, they tend to do very well. And of course, Venus herself does very well in this Taurus Navamsa, right? Good income, good nature, sweet disposition, caring. Now we come to pada 3, which is Mercury, okay? So again, strong Kanya Rashi Mercury, and again, pada ruled by Mercury. So this can make the native not really healthy. Okay, so that's something. Great at trading, commerce, Mercury ruled, right? So cerebral, intellectual, writer, journalist, and all of that. Good with stocks and shares and bonds and insurance, career oriented. This is possibly the most career oriented pada of Hasta, right? And makes one intelligent, right? Mercury gives that analytical power, okay, powers of analysis, and makes you intellectual, intelligent. But then there are different types of intelligence, right? Everybody's intelligent in some way, but there are different types of intelligence. So this is a very worldly, savvy, business sense, and good negotiator, good at communication, looks at the communication triangle while talking to you, and all of that. So we see a well-placed Mercury is pretty amazing here. This is where you have, like, I think, a great journalist, okay? Now, Pada 4, Cancer, moon rule, too much moon, as I said, and loved by the mother. This Pada natives are loved by their mothers, and they're very joyful, and they tend to enjoy a good status in society because they're caring, they're concerned about you. So they bring about this feeling of openness, and people take to that, and people like that, okay? So that's something. They're very good with community, right? Community, family life, great mothers. Uh, but they can be very materialistic. So this is a downside, a shadow side of this pada. Extreme materialism, hoarding things from the past, right? Wanting everything for themselves. Suspicious of foreign people and objects and experiences. They like what they know. Okay, this I think is a very Cancerian trait. It's heightened in this double moon energy and in this Navamsa. So they don't like new things or foreign things. They like what they like. Like, I've had friends who travel all through Europe, and they'd only look for Indian food. So it's like that, right? They don't want to experiment with anything new. It's tried and tested all the way for them. So a well-placed Jupiter here can give good progeny. So beautiful children, intelligent children, children who like to achieve, who will achieve something in life. So a well-placed Jupiter here gives good progeny. Hasta is an amalgamation of 5 stars, and it is in the constellation of Corvus, the crow. So the 5 stars are Alpha Corvi, which is known as Alchiba, Beta Corvi, which is known as Cras, Delta Corvi, which is Algorab, okay, the most important star of the Corvus constellation, Gamma Corvi, Gaina, okay, Epsilon Corvi, which is Menkar. Now, let me tell you a bit about the main star Algorab. Okay, it is of the nature of Mars and Saturn. So there is a connection of terrorism to this fixed star. There's a connection of terrorism, and terrorist attacks have known to happen when planets have been moving through this particular fixed star. So Robson says Algorab causes its natives to become agitators. So they are anti-establishment, Algorab natives, right? And also natives, according to Robson, he says that natives are malicious, thieving, merciless, fiendish, repulsive, liars, and eventually they have many accidents and a violent death. So it's a diabolical star. You see the two malefics coming together, Mars and Saturn, and feeding it energy. So it's a diabolical fixed star. The Algorab natives have a military preferment. So they oftentimes want to join the military. Okay, they often rise to big posts in the military, or some kind of armed services like Navy, or especially if you look at the Cancer Navamsa, right? Navy, water. So they like to go out into the water. Mars more playing with fire, so missiles, ballistics, all of that. They like guns. So, but even though they have military preferment and they can join the military, there is final disgrace. Okay, so no matter how high they rise in rank, there will be a disgraceful moment in their lives as they grow old, in their old age. And this also gives destructiveness, malevolence, fiendishness, repulsiveness, and lying. And it is connected to scavenging, which is again a direct, signifier of Corvus, the crow. The crow is known for scavenging, right? Which is why it's actually also said that dreaming of a crow can be very, can be a bad omen. I don't believe that. I love crows personally, and I dream about them a lot, and I love them absolutely, and I would not mind owning a crow. Now, the crystals that a Hasta native should have is black onyx. Now, if you're looking to make donation and you're a Hasta native, rice is what you need to donate. The mudra is Rudra mudra, okay, which is touch, index and middle finger to the thumb. This is Rudra mudra, okay. And so when you're facing south, I said south is the directionality. You're facing south, you're doing your Om Shram Shrim Shrom Sa Chandramase Namaha. Om Shram Shrim Shrom Sa Chandramase Namaha. Om Shram Shrim Shrom Sa Chandramase Namaha. You can do it with this mudra. Mudras are gestures that please divinity. They align your vibration to divine possibilities. Okay, because everything we do is a vibration. What we think, what we do, how we act, how we speak, how we behave, everything is a vibration. So when you're doing the mudra of your nakshatra and you're chanting, this raises your vibration. Now this is the Rudra mudra. So we did all of this, and oh my god, we have just so much to talk about, but oh, okay, Pada 4. I think we did this. Yeah, Matsyasana. Okay, we did this Pada 3. I'm just looking at all the notes that I have in front of me, and there tends to be quite a lot of, stuff, that I just wrote out for you guys and channeled for you guys. Like, what is the best thing to tell you, right? There's so much to say. Now, with the Pada 4 thing that I was telling you, the Cancer Navamsa, there is a fullness of emotions, right? I think all of us has a fullness of emotion, but more so there. And they can also be very sensitive. So you tell them something and they can be very sensitive. They can blow up, they can get angry with you and stuff like that, okay? They don't like to be provoked. Also, they care that Taurus Navamsa, that Cancer Navamsa, these natives, they tend to have a very caring disposition. But all this emotion, all this caring, at the very base of it, they're extremely logical and analytical. So I think that pretty much speaks for the nature of Mercury. Very logical, very analytical, right? So Savitur desired, may the gods place their faith in me, right? This is what Savitur decided as he entered into meditation. He said, may the gods place their faith in me. Right? Now, if you make the appropriate offerings to Hasta, to Savitur, then you will become glorious like the sun. People will have faith in you. Your community, your friends, the people you touch will have faith in you, right? You will be the sun of your community, S-U-N. So you'll shine as glorious, as bright as the sun in your community. So some of the best careers for Hasta: craftsmen, artists, the educators, painters, scholars, teachers, comedians, performers, writers, hospital and volunteer work, NGOs, PR, advisors, ministers, psychotherapists, hypnotherapists, palm readers, astrologers. Also, the shadow side, the hand, remember, they can be pickpockets, casino dealers, bookies. Because, again, it has the association with the hand. So the hand can do very many things, right? The hand, if you can use the hand for good, you can use the hand to strangle someone and kill someone. So it's entirely up to you how you use the skill that has been imparted to you. The best compatibility of Hasta is Swati. So if you are Hasta Nakshatra looking to get married, you should marry a Swati native. Of course, the shades again come through the Navamsas. Consult an astrologer, but Swati is the best in compatibility with the Hasta native. Again, we have to look at the animal yonis. So Swati is a male buffalo and Hasta is a female buffalo. So, there's this animal yonis that align perfectly. Incompatible to Satavisha, which is me, Moon in Satavisha Pada 4, because Satavisha is a female horse. Now, can you imagine a horse and a bull, a buffalo friends? I don't think so. They're completely different. The horse's energy is completely different to the buffalo's energy. right? Now, also when you think of the Trimurti associated to Hasta, it is Brahma. I'm going on Savitur, creation, creation, creation. So Brahma is the Trimurti associated to Hasta. Now the health issues can be quite severe, right? I told you the Gemini Navamsa people may not be extremely healthy. So severe cold, cough, water retention, extreme dryness, water from the nose. So leaking of water from the nose, clotting of water, asthma, high blood pressure, and in females twisting of veins, and crazy high blood pressure and cholesterol. Now, Devi Parvati can be worshipped because Parvati is associated to Buddha, Mercury, and Parvati's beach is the Maya beach, which is Reem. Som Reem will work very well, and Parvati is the Devi of the moon. Mercury is associated to Tripura Sundari. Now, you need to also worship the sun, right? And you can also worship Vishnu. So you can chant Om Jham or Om Nayam. Om Jham or Om Nayam. These are very powerful Vishnu beaches. Om Jham, Om Nayam. And they will help you in dealing with your Hasta craziness. Another thing is burn incense of neem or keep some neem roots with you. Preferably they should be energized, but if not, just keep a neem root with you. Now, before I end this broadcast, all I want to tell you is remember that the hands are first and foremost tools of blessing. So when you raise your hand like this, it means everything is okay. I'm here. I bless you, right? This is a mudra that is shown by every deity. Okay, Abhaya mudra. Like, don't be afraid. I'm here for you. I bless you. Okay, so remember, if you're a Hasta native, use your hands to bless, for they are ultimately the greatest tool of blessing. Thank you very much for listening and being a part of my YouTube channel. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and share, and let me know what you think below in the comments. Thank you and speak soon.